She doesn't text first. Not because she's forgotten you, but because she's waiting. Waiting to see who breaks first. Waiting to see if you'll lose control and reach out. You think she's moved on, but she hasn't. She's just quiet, watching your stories, checking your status, reading every unspoken word between your silences. She's not gone. She's observing. Most men mistake her silence for indifference. They panic. They chase. They double text, post things hoping she'll see them, and in doing so, they hand her all their power. Because every time you chase what's pulling away, you confirm what she secretly suspected. You still need her to feel whole. But here's the truth most never see. When a woman goes silent, it's not always rejection. It's psychology. She's testing your emotional gravity. She wants to know if your strength collapses when she withdraws warmth. Because to her, silence reveals more than words ever could. How you react to distance tells her what kind of man you are. Will you crumble? Will you beg for connection? Or will you hold your ground and let her silence meet your stillness? Because in that stillness, she feels something new. Respect. At first, she convinces herself she doesn't care. She scrolls past your name pretending your silence doesn't sting. She tells herself she's fine, that she's the one in control. But as time passes, that calm turns into curiosity. That curiosity turns into tension. And tension turns into longing. Because silence, when held by a man with calm confidence, echoes. It creates an emotional vibration she can't ignore. She starts asking herself questions she can't answer. Did he lose interest? Did I push too far? Why isn't he reacting? The same uncertainty she once used to test you now begins to test her. While you move forward, focused, grounded, she starts scrolling through your page again, not to see what you post, but to feel something she lost. The energy. The balance. The calm she once took for granted. You see, women don't just miss your presence, they miss how your presence made them feel. And when that energy disappears, they start to chase its memory. That's when silence becomes your presence. That's when mystery becomes attraction. Every woman who once felt something real for a man eventually hits the same wall. The silence starts to talk louder than words. She'll tell herself she's done, that she's healing, that she doesn't need to reach out. But somewhere in the middle of the night, when everything quiets down, she feels that absence. Because your silence didn't just remove attention, it removed the emotional frequency she was drawn to. She can get texts from other men, compliments, flirtation, but it all feels light, predictable, safe. And safe doesn't stir her blood the way your calm confidence once did. That's when the emotional trigger activates. The more she tries to forget you, the more her mind pulls her back. She starts replaying the last words, reading between the lines, trying to find a reason for your distance. But what she doesn't realize is that this search isn't about you, it's about her. She's trying to regain emotional control. And the harder she tries, the more power she gives away. Your silence becomes the mirror she can't look away from. The more she thinks, the deeper she feels. The deeper she feels, the more she misses. And that's how silence turns into attraction. When she finally breaks the silence, it won't be dramatic. It'll be small. A "Hey stranger." A reaction to your story. A spark disguised as casual. But that message carries weight. It's her way of testing the water. This is where most men fail. They rush in, flooding her with attention, trying to rebuild what's already been burned down. They don't realize that her curiosity wasn't born from their pursuit. It was born from their absence. So when she returns, don't overcompensate. Don't try to prove anything. Match her calm. Mirror her tone. Keep it light, grounded, unbothered. You acknowledge her, but you don't reward her. Because the man she's reaching out to now must not be the same man who once waited by his phone. You don't chase. You don't confess. You don't explain. You let the silence breathe between every word you speak. That's when she feels the shift, the contrast between who you were and who you've become. And that difference reignites everything. Something changes the moment she realizes she's no longer the center of your world. Your energy feels lighter. Your tone calmer. Your focus elsewhere. She feels the distance, but not the cold kind. It's the kind of distance that radiates control. And that control draws her in. Suddenly she's replying faster, initiating more, finding excuses to talk. Not because she's bored, but because she's intrigued. She can feel that your validation is no longer her power source. You've unplugged from her emotionally, and that disconnection becomes magnetic. Now she's the one checking your stories, wondering who you're with, asking herself if she's been replaced. The polarity has reversed. She's chasing the calm that used to chase her. But your job now isn't to punish her, it's to maintain the frame. You stay warm but detached, open but centered. You give her conversation, not control. You give her presence, not dependence. Because the second you start needing her attention again, the spell breaks. When she comes back, your hardest test isn't what you say. It's what you don't. Every instinct in you will want to open up, to prove you still care, to finally exhale. But restraint is power. The reason she's drawn back to you isn't because you convinced her, it's because you didn't try to. She's feeling something rare, safety in your stillness. She sees a man who no longer reacts to emotion with emotion. A man whose peace can't be shaken by her silence. That's what makes you unforgettable. So don't rush. Let her invest. Let her feel the cost of regaining what she once took for granted. Show interest without attachment. Be warm, not eager. Lead without chasing. Because attraction dies in comfort. And you're not here to be comfortable. You're here to stay composed. That's how a man keeps power, by not needing it. One day, she'll look at you and realize she can't reach you the same way anymore. Not because you blocked her out, but because you've outgrown the part of yourself that needed her approval. The softness she once controlled is gone. The calm remains. You've become a man she recognizes but can no longer predict. She feels it in your eyes, in your pace, in your silence. You're not angry, you're free. And in that freedom lies the truth every woman eventually learns. Attention is easy to find, but presence is rare. She can meet 100 men who text her, compliment her, make her laugh, but none who make her pause. None who hold the kind of stillness that demands respect without a single word. That's what your silence has become. Power, not absence. You're no longer chasing love. You're attracting alignment. No longer proving worth. You're living it. Because at some point, it stops being about who texts first. It becomes about who leads with peace. You've mastered the hardest skill of all, emotional control. And once you master yourself, no one can ever control you again.